believe our second round is ready, our second feature match, so let's jump on into it. I can't remember exactly who it was. It was told to me a long time ago. Oh, can we squint and see?
It's Volibear versus Sivir.
Volibear versus Sivir. Okay, Sivir, I think a lot of people look at as a deck that can definitely challenge at the top, but has a few problems when it comes to time, both in terms of its own management of time, because there's a lot of memorization of deck orders, but also in terms of other players playing into it. Volibear, big boys.
Big guys, big bears.
Big guys.
Oh, they're the bare necessities, bringing everything and saying, I'm going to ramp hard, play some really heavy units. Can you deal with them? And Sivir, well, I think they can, but I think it's going to be they've got to be very cautious of their timings. Yeah,
totally agree. I think it is understanding what is a big threat and what isn't. You've got in the Volibear deck, you know, Cadgrins, Volibear, obviously Volibears, Magma Worms, kind of a Snapjaws, Deadbloom Predators, Ferris, Forerunners, Minotaurs.
So many.
There's a lot of stuff that you have to really think about. And we are going to jump onto, I was about to say Summoner's Rift, that is a muscle memory moment there for me as a caster. Going to jump onto Summoner's Rift for the first game of the Riftbound Bologna. Now, in the laning phase, what we expect to see is these players channeling a few runes, awakening their runes, beginning, and also drawing cards. And then from there, we'll see, with an Obelisk of Power and a Sigil of the Storm, we have pretty electric battlefields.
Hey, very true.
Yes,
but
yes.
Who's going to deal better in the storm, the Battle Mistress or the Bear?
Well, that is the question. It seems like game one did go towards the Battle Mistress, Sivir Mercenary, doing a lot of work. With this deck, at least with the kind of pseudo-miracle version that we have seen predominantly, what you're trying to do is cycle through your deck as quickly as possible and then almost memorize / write down the exact order of the cards that you are looking for. I believe we saw a Sabotage off the top there and maybe an Ezreal. I didn't quite see what the third card was, but Jencig went out to an early lead in game one. Volley on the other side is, you know, you're catalysting, you're trying to get to late game, you're mobilizing, can play those Auroras as well. I have to see if this list does include them. Some lists don't these days. Some lists are just about, I want to get to high rune counts and then I want to play big stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what this is going to be about realistically, is who can utilize that quickly. The nice thing about Sivir is it does go a little bit slower. You kind of set up for the mid game during the early game and develop the Sivir, dig for those Sabotage, which we managed to get already, which is great, Ezreal, Seals, and then you kind of start flying. And that might give Volibear time, the time that it needs to ramp these runes as quickly as possible so they can get to those bigger units. But a very typical Volibear turn of do some runes and not much else.
Yep, I will put my runes down and then I will unfortunately not have a Catalyst. Catalyst of Aeons, when you have that Obelisk of Power, is such a nice play on turn one if you're going second. It's a really strong position to be in, but unable to get there. It looks like we're going to have the Seal of Discord. Early Seal from Jencig into tapping 3 and going to play out our first Ezreal of the game.
Wow, this is a phenomenal start. Really pushing exactly what Sivir wants to be doing. We want the Seals early, we want to see the Ezreal, we want the card draw, we want the Seals to become those like kind of infinite resources. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and having the Seal actually allowing you to get out that Ezreal and the Seal, because you were lacking in terms of Chaos power, only had body runes remaining. You can see how important sorting your hand is, like organizing exactly what you want in your hand at any time, with the Traveling Merchant coming down after you've just discarded 1 and drawn 2 from the Ezreal. On the Hunt getting discarded, slightly surprising. Minotaur Beckoner's going to come out though, first of the big boys.
I think it was kind of all we could do. Like otherwise Volibear was just in hibernation for a whole nother turn where you couldn't really play anything because everything costs too much. So we wanted to utilize channeling that extra rune with our legend ability.
Getting the Minotaur Beckoner out as well. It is nice into decks that like to avoid combats where they can. Sivir does like to do that from time to time. You know, you go in, you then manage to fight or flight, get things retreated. Units can't move to base, really stops a lot of that from being able to happen. Can't always beating can when it comes to Riftbound.
But what's the next step? We've had a really, really strong Sivir kind of guideline turn. Like if I could pick what cards I played roughly in order with Sivir, this is kind of what it might look like, especially against Volibear. But now we're going in with a Sabotage, beautifully timed, knowing that kind of we're not really getting anywhere with playing these big units. There must be some big brutal bits in there. We're going to jot them down because we can note take. We're good with that. But you reveal their hand and then choose a non-unit card from it. Now a lot of these are units. I think they're all units, but we can jot them down. We know what's coming, and we can prepare for that later.
Yeah, it's one of those. Cadrigan is pretty nice. If you start to get a few other units down, drawing you a card for each mighty unit you have when you play it. But Sabotage kind of sucks when you only see units, right? I think
like,
hoping to see an Aurora was really what you're hoping for there.
100%.
Or even, I mean, if you had a Mobilizer or if you had a Catalyst, you would have played it by this point as the Volibear player. So not the end of the world for Jencig. Knowing exactly what your opponent has in hand is obviously very helpful. We saw a scrap heap discarded earlier on as well for that extra draw. Sivir going to get exhausted to make that gold token. Has that happened on this turn? Why is she still exhausted right now?
I think that was on this turn, yeah, because the gold token.
Oh, did we use the other gold token last turn? I didn't see that getting used, so it's fine. We made one last turn as well, I believe, but I must have just missed where it was used, and that is entirely on me. We have judges at the table, so we'll be making sure all of these things are happening correctly anyway.
Absolutely, but yeah, at the moment we're just doing kind of pretty typical Sivir things. We've got the Azrael out, we've got our Seal, we're pretty happy with the Traveling Merchant moving over there, taking the first point of the game. Of course, yep, a natural kind of progression here is now bringing out our Sivir Mercenary.
Yeah, but the ability for Sivir Mercenary, when you're making so many gold tokens, to use that power and then have Sivir gain ganking, get +2, just makes you so much stronger overall. And it gives you kind of like that late game insurance where 6 might and ganking can work through a lot of things. With the Minotaur Beckoner out though, it becomes a little trickier because you don't have as much easy removal with the fight or flights and then allowing Sivir just to go in and gank for the points. So we'll see how Jencig is going to work their way through the fact that this Minotaur Beckoner currently exists. Something like a challenge, a punch first, like a Rasa going down into one of those would give you enough might to work your way through the Minotaur.
Yeah, Elgatoconvodkas has got a lot of runes now, a lot of power to go, and we've got a lot of big units in hand ready to go. So now this is where Volibear shines, right? We just have big guys, they go down, they're aggressive. I'd say this is like the highest natural powered deck of the format. Oh, it's again not a deck that we were expecting to see, but I'm not mad about it. I'm enjoying seeing Volibear doing great. I'm bringing down, of course, our Rindir Thundersong for 6 and 5 power, of course, and your opponents can't play cards this turn now, so we can go in a little bit more uncontested. Yeah,
I think it's one of those ones where Brynhir in a lot of decks is defined by her ability text.
Yes.
When you play me, opponents can't play cards this turn. Super impactful. In this deck, I feel like that helps. But she's also a 5 might creature.
Yes.
And she looks like she should be in a Volibear deck, and so I think she should be in a Volibear deck, you know.
She seems to fit the vibe. She's very Volibear coded.
Yeah, she definitely is. Have we passed the Volibear vibe check? These are the important things we must ask.
100%.
Another point over to Jencig for that Traveling Merchant holding right now. We're going to channel our runes and we'll see exactly where we want to go. Did see another Catalyst, or a first Catalyst in Elgato's hand. Importantly for them, even though they have channeled so many runes, if you can't channel 2 runes with the Catalyst, you do get a card draw out of it, so it's not a dead card. At that point, you just, you channel at least up to 2 runes, and if you can't do 2, you draw a card.
Ooh, cold shot there.
I believe it's a Rasa
in
hand. It's a cold shot and a Rasa.
Oh, it's a Rasa as well, but it kind of is not great right now. You want that later. You need that late game. We're not quite there yet. But then do you want to, recycle it? I don't, what got chosen there? I didn't quite see.
I think it was the cold shot went into hand.
Yeah, I think that would be my cold shot too, but it feels bad putting Rasa to the bottom of the deck.
And you see Jencig there trying to move the Traveling Merchant back, and Elgato was like, excuse me, Minotaur exists, you can't move, you don't get your discard draw, you don't get it.
No moving.
It negates a lot of what Jencig wants to do at this point. Another Ezra is going to come down for the discard double draw, which will start to fill up our trash a little bit more. Currently looking at 5 cards in there.
5 by the look of it, and that'll be 6 now.
Okay, we get rid of the challenge. We're not going to try and kill off the Minotaur like that. We can still play something like a Rebuke just to knock it back to base and then allow us to gets that movement around from things like the Traveling Merchant, but we'll see if you want to go that. I think that's a downwell actually sitting in hand as well there for Jencig. The ability to bounce all of these big units, which means that Elgato then has to take a much longer time to play them all out. Like if you're a weenies deck is what we used to call it in Magic, right? It's like small creatures that have like 3 energy costs, 4 energy costs, as opposed to a 6 to 12 energy cost deck. It's like I would very much more want to have my 4 cost bounce than my 12 cost bounce.
Absolutely. And that style of rush deck can be really effective, but in this instance, Elgatoconvodkas is doing almost the opposite, where they're saying, I'm going to have all of these big creatures that do have effects that stop you doing what you want, and we're going to make you much less mobile. And then I'm going to go ahead and start targeting those down. I'm going to take these battlefields and then possibly hold them. So of course we've gone in there, gone ahead and taken down the only unit at any battlefield in this game so far.
Yeah, and Power of the Carnivorous Snapjaw just comes in, snaps its jaw, as is in the name. It's one of those, like, you know, sometimes as biologists you just name things after stuff. And it's like, oh, what's it do? It snaps its jaw? Cool. Call it a snapjaw. It's fine.
It's a snap vine in this instance, but that's okay.
Snap vine, sorry,
No, that's okay.
It snaps.
It snaps, it's a vine, it's carnivorous, exactly. It's the same thing.
And what does a Venus flytrap do? It traps flies, therefore flytrap.
Exactly.
Carnivorous snap vine.
And this is exactly what it did, and it's a strong unit, but it costs a lot, and so it doesn't often see place in a lot of decks unless you've got this kind of ramp of your runes so that you can afford to be playing these really heavy cost units at this stage of the game. And we got another Minotaur. Movement is going to be delayed harshly.
Movement.
Hey, very good.
Utterly ridiculous, that joke. Utterly ridiculous. As
I can't believe you've put me in this spot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll do it to you later.
I think Alistair needs to be added as a card in Riftbound.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a great League of Legends champion. He's a cow. He's a Minotaur.
Oh, perfect.
It's likes to bounce people around. I could see it being you play an Alistair at a battlefield, it fight or flights an opposing creature, you know? Anyway,
nice.
Back to Riftbound. As those Minotaur Beckmans are going to be difficult to deal with. One of the problems is, though, your units also can't move to base, so that Bryn here is stuck at the Obelisk of Power. You can see both of the players avoiding Sigil of the Storm like the plague right now. Don't want to be going in there. I think Jencig's starting to think about whether that downwell is a good option. Okay.
All right. Ezreal going on their adventure. Anyone need a map? We're heading on in. Uncharted territory.
I mean, for the Sivir, at least you're making a gold when you are recycling, right? So
true.
It's less impactful than it would be on others. Ezreal goes in. We'll have that rune recycled from the Sigil of the Storm. Tap the Sivir, make a gold. Nice enough overall.
I think having almost battlefields that your opponent doesn't really want to touch is a great thing. Even if it doesn't exactly help you in your scenario, having to detriment them more than yourself is worthwhile. So playing a battlefield that isn't great for you but is awful for your opponent is quite advantageous.
Yeah, it definitely helps you out. I guess there's an argument for Elgato where it's like, if you have a good enough board state, you have things like Catalyst, you have things like Mobilize, maybe it is worth trying to fight for the Sigil.
Maybe.
Because you can repopulate, but the repopulation for you is harder generally than it is for the Sivir player.
100%.
Yeah, it's this is kind of what you expect from both these decks, though. Both of them do like to go slow.
Oh
right?
yeah,
it's
that's
not about
gaining
a huge amount of points at the start. You're just going to be eking out as much advantage as you can, and then working out exactly when to use these tools in your arsenal. I saw the Confront in hand as well. Is it going to be double move into the Bryn here, Thunderstone?
Into the Obelisk of Power, yes, here we go. Double moving in there, just challenging. I don't think there's anything that can come back from that. I think it is just a very simple, going ahead and trading there, but Ezreal stands firm in the Obelisk of Power, taking that. We've got double Ezreal in play, proving why he's here at this tournament. Absolutely doing wondrous things and taking the battlefields by storm right now, up to 4 points to 1. It's looking like Jencig has definitely started to put the pressure on for Elgato. It's going to need to respond quickly and pretty efficiently to be able to tackle down these Ezreals and start to bring the favor back into their hand.
Yeah, I do think they have the tools to do it right now. You can see 16 might is there. There was always the risk as well that Elgato could have had something like a Sky Splitter or a challenge on that move in, and that would have been a little bit trickier for the Jencig to deal with in those moments. So you are taking a bit of a risk. Also tapping out of all of the runes.
Okay.
Quite a bit
what
of
do we got? Is it a Raza coming out maybe? Or,
it's going to be the downwell. Okay. Downwell bouncing all units and all gear to their owner's hands. And this is what we were talking about. It's the idea of, okay, I'll set myself back, but I'm going to set you back further.
Exactly. And that's the troublesome thing here is it's like, yeah, okay, well, I don't really mind too much because, again, I've got some units that I can play a little bit cheaper. There's the Raza. And because we had plenty in discard, now it just became even cheaper to play as they cost less for each card in your trash. So those huge units, although they normally cost 10, you actually don't need quite as much. And for 6 might, that is a very great contender into a Volibear deck.
And now as the Volibear, you're thinking, well,
what do I do now?
I can play maybe 2 Minotaurs this turn. I can try and get a little bit of power back onto, a little bit of might back onto the battlefield, but it's not going to be the easiest thing for me. I'm looking down the barrel of 2 6 might units. Okay, we'll go for the Mobilize, get that card draw. There's the Sky Splitter, a turn too late to deal with that Ezreal.
That's a shame, that is. That feels bad when you pull the card from the top deck, the turn after it's useful. That happens to me a lot. We did go for the double Minotaur, really good call there. But is it too little too late?
It might be. The thing is, Jencig is still 2 turns away from winning and would need to split up their Razas to get there.
That is a fact.
Do you want to try and double hold? Probably not. You can't. As soon as you go in, you can't move back.
Nope.
Doubly so.
You're stuck.
Right? Yeah, you are absolutely landlocked. So it's probably going to be a push 12 in to one of the battlefields. Obelisk of Power makes the most sense because you don't really want to be recycling on that Sigil of the Storm. And then at that point also, if Minotaur Reckoner, if 2 of them come in, with a Sky Splitter, which is 5 damage to a unit at a battlefield, reduced by the highest might amongst units you control. So it would be 3 energy and a power to play.
Okay, we played a Confront there, so we got the draw 1 and units now enter play ready.
Yeah.
So we do have at least that. We can play this Ezreal, nice, okay, and that comes in ready. So now maybe there's a little bit more splittage that could go on, that could occur.
True. Even then, I'm concerned. I guess it depends on how much Jencig knows Volibear decks.
Yeah.
Because it's the Ezreal going in just for the singular point makes sense. Gets you to 5. Double Rasa the other side would get you to 6, and then you'd be 1 turn away. But at that point, you are looking at things like Dead Bloom.
Yes.
You're looking at things like Sky Splitter. You're looking at things like Challenge,
100%.
which can be really hard to deal with. Keeping the Rasas back, I think, is a conservative but understandable move.
I agree, and they're far enough ahead. They don't need to use resources. They don't need to put things at risk. Elgato, of course, going in with the Minotaur, going, okay, I'll have that back. I need points at this stage. I need to win this game. I'm going to need to, at some point, have these Minotaurs fight my battles. And he's got to go in with it. So it's a really simple showdown at that point. And I think this really differs from the last round that we cast together, where they were so complicated in a beautiful way with all of the spells that were going on. This is 2 raw power decks at this point going, is my guy bigger than your guy? Yes, no.
Yeah. It's pretty much what's happening. There is a punch first in hand, Rebuke as well for Jencig, so there's a few options for them if we do get into that massive
tussle,
battle of fisticuffs.
Absolutely, but at the moment, Elgato just really needs to get some points on the board. 1 is not enough when you're staring down at 5 points on Jencig's side with very powerful units in play and, like you say, some chaos abilities that are going to allow for those more confrontational styles of combat. Going in with the other Minotaur as well, just really trying to focus in on that one battlefield.
And there's the Cadrigan, so that's going to draw us 2 cards, I believe. Oh, no, it'll be 3 because it counts itself. When you play me, draw 1 for each of your mighty units. So,
oh, fantastic.
3-card draw, but a huge investment. Volley will give us an extra Fury Rune channeled out. We have 3 left. There's the 3 cards.
Didn't quite spot them, but hopefully they're good. We've not got a lot of runes left to work with this turn.
I mean, importantly now, Sky Splitter. Oh, there's the challenge.
That was
okay.
Huge challenge, but who's going to challenge who? I imagine.
I mean, Kadrigan onto Arasa
yeah,
makes the
has
most
to be,
sense,
doesn't
right?
it?
That's one of those dead. Sky Splitter now basically free. Will cost 1 Fury power to play because we have a unit with over 8 might.
Beautiful. The comeback begins.
I mean, it's a slow roll for a Volibear, but he is used to being that oncoming storm, that relentless storm. Rolling Thunder, the name of his Q in League of Legends, by the way, so that's a fact I know.
That is very apt.
To bring out right now.
Very apt. The Thunder started way away. It's getting closer now, and it's getting a lot more, a lot scarier. Really for Jencig, because although we've had that really early lead, it's the can I now keep up with this? Can I continue to put out the fire that these lightning strikes are causing?
It's a tricky one overall. For Elgato, looking to step towards that 3-1. Currently sitting at 2-1, both these players. Jencig did win round 1, or not round 1, match 1, game 1 of this series. So just needs 1 more to go to that 3-1, and I think you have to assume someone coming on a Volibear deck is not expecting to top 8. This is a best of attempt. Last rights, though.
Ooh, last
that can get the Rasa back as well.
What a fantastic card. Probably one of the strongest gear in the game.
Also allows you to put cards back into your deck. So there's a few options that you can go for here. The idea is, do I just put cards back in that I don't really want? Because I haven't gone through enough of my deck. I haven't been able to get the, you know, the draws that I was looking for, the stack decks and call shots and such. So I'm just going to put in things that I don't like the scrap heap. Or do I put things back into my deck like the Rasa because I need to get more units back available to me? Here we're going to attack in and then look for the conquer and try and play that Rasa out of the trash.
We want it from the discard pile. We want that back. You've got to conquer or hold to be able to play the unit from the trash.
Punch first. Bumps us up.
Oh, is it going to be enough?
It's got to be the Sky Splitter onto Rasa. Deal 5 damage, looking for the trade.
Trying not to allow for that last rights to have that ability.
Question is, where do you go? You have a Rebuke in hand as Jencig. That avoids the Minotaur. And it's an Aurora deck, and we haven't seen one for so long.
It's been forever. But it doesn't look like there's much else.
It's going to be a Rebuke.
It is. It's got to be the Rebuke. That takes out that Minotaur.
And it keeps Rasa out of kill range right now. If there was another Sky Splitter for Elgato, this would be the perfect time to use it, but that Minotaur is going to die.
Oh!
Doesn't trade with the Rasa. Rasa now gets the last rights trigger.
The last rights trigger being absolutely fundamental to this core of the deck right now, especially because we're late game and we need those large surprise attacks from Rasa. And now we're going to be able to bring one back into play, and we get the +2 from the last rights still. I think that's absolutely exceptional. You got +2 and a badass effect. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, you do have to recycle from your trash to be able to equip it, which can be a bit of a cost sometimes, but when you are putting so many cards into your trash, like in a Sivir deck, it doesn't matter too much. Put that scrap heap back on the bottom, make another gold, and now, if you're Elgato, you're looking at it, it's like, well, I guess I could look for the Aurora next. Oh, no gold. Did we accidentally trigger Sivir twice on a turn? I believe we may have done. And that's
looks like it. Yep,
easily
that's okay.
corrected.
Easily
Down
corrected.
to 2 body runes though for Jencig. Going to use one of them for a stack deck, or are we not?
I'm not sure at this point. I think having just the 2 body runes is kind of scary.
You represent punch first, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you were talking about earlier, was that kind of pricey cost. And now we're in the situation where Elgato could now kind of stampede forward with their units because they just have more to play.
It's such a difficult position to be in. I see a dead bloom in there, because you kind of want to play Aurora. You kind of want to start getting those units off the top, but you are so close to losing out on the game.
It's not an ideal situation, I think, for either player here.
Yeah, it is.
There's a clear divide in points, but the strategy that both of these are going for has actually been untangled by one another rather well at this point. I think, if anything, Volibear's in a slightly more advantageous position in regards to cards in hand and what they can do, what they can play, what's available.
Sure.
But then, actually, we don't really have that presence on board or in points right now.
They're so far behind in points, and it's getting really close for our Sivir player.
Really close, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to keep it up.
Yeah, I 100% understand. No Dead Bloom Predator in hand makes it hard to immediately contest the battlefield unless you just go in with Cadrigan, which is 9 might. On the other side, we have a Last Rites on a Rasa. Can't remember if there was anything else on that battlefield. I don't believe so.
I don't believe so either.
So is it you just...
I think it's just it maybe is just a heavy kind of hard cast of a large unit and start to attempt to contest the Last Rites. You don't want the Last Rites to hold, right? That's the thing.
That's the thing. You need really to get onto that battlefield. And if you can't, then you are...
hard pressed for the rest of the game.
You just lose, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You just lose.
I was saying it politely, but yeah, you just lose.
Incredibly hard pressed. I mean, the other option is you go to Sigil of the Storm and try and hold there into the Rasa coming in.
Yeah.
And then you have to recycle. Maybe you Dazzling and then play whatever's coming out onto there as well. But then you risk the being rebuked, being fight or flighted, just getting bounced away from the battlefield.
There's a
with
risk,
no Minotaurs out.
But it might be worth the reward. But then if you don't get what you need off of that Dazzling, then it was a waste. And because the right cards to play here are going to potentially be a win or loss situation.
Yeah. Where are we going? Okay. Going to Obelisk. Taking the fight to this Rasa.
Seeing if there's anything that they can do to kind of outweigh the just 9 might, the strength of that. We're 6, 7, 8, so 8 to 9. Like, just going for it, seeing if it works, and it is stuck. That was all it needed to happen. Last Rites, of course, stays in play, but it needs to be reattached later, and we won't get that effect on the hold. And I think that was such a tough decision to make. You could see it in both players' eyes that actually Elgato was like, I really don't know if this is the right thing to do, because if I lose this unit, it could all be over.
And it makes it a lot easier just to play out the Dazzling Aurora as your card for the turn.
Much safer. Much safer now.
It sometimes feels so mean for Volibear decks and these Aurora decks. It's like, this is your card for the turn, and then Sivir's like, I will play 6 cards this turn and we'll see what we can do. But we'll now reveal from the top of the deck, assuming Elgato decides to move to that step, and see where we get in terms of another unit to play.
And see
Taking
how far we get.
Yeah.
Because we've got quite a lot of units in hand. I think that's the thing. So how long will it take us to get there? Oh, okay.
First Forerunner.
Not bad at all. I'm not mad at a First Forerunner. We've discussed earlier in the day how instrumental Ferris Forerunner can be to keeping a hold of battlefields, and it's really difficult to remove, not just because of its might, but because of its after and death knell effect, where when it is defeated, we put 2 3-power mech tokens into base, and then they can just kind of take its place.
Gives you 12 might for 6 energy and 1 power cost. Seal into seal. Have a fizz in hand as well. Seal into seal into seal. Okay. Yep. Do the claps.
Yeah.
We have a stack deck as well for Jencig. We can try and get through the cards. Try and get through this deck. If we do play the Fierce, there's a Rebuke in graveyard. Could try and bounce the Cadrigan back to hand. Put the Rasa with the Last Rites equipped up against that First Forerunner. Would get us a Conquer, which would get us a return of a Rasa.
Is it worth it? Do we want to just kind of go into the other battlefield and just be like, well, I guess I'll hold here and then bring things back and kind of stick it out infinitely?
I think the risk is Dead Bloom Predators if you go in Akshan to steal the Aurora.
Oh my goodness!
Beautiful play, and this is why Akshan is so powerful into so many meta decks. You're not only stealing equipment, you're also stealing gear. Take away the Aurora, you can reveal from the top of your library, or top of your main deck, at the end of the turn.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
If I was Volibear right now, I'd be like, oh, you mischievous thing, that's awful, I can't believe
it took you 8 turns to find the Aurora, and it immediately gets stolen after
you let me do once.
Yeah. And it's just owned as well now.
Yeah, that's it.
It is just gone. Did have to use 2 body runes to get there.
I think it was worth it.
I wonder if there's a way for the volley to deal with that Akshan. Sky Splitter is at a battlefield. Something like a challenge could work. But
start to kind of whittle away defenses. I guess. I think that might be what we're going for, or something similar to, because that's what we need to do, is start like removing numbers here. We need to remove might from battlefield so that we can go in. And obviously taking the dazzling away is a great way to kind of give yourself a little bit of insurance on that. You're like, oh, actually, okay, well, at least you won't be able to filter through from the top of the deck every turn. You've got what's in your hand now.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff in Elgato's hand, though, which is nice for them. I think we are equipping Last Rites onto the Akshan, getting him up to 6. Rasa's going to go in solo.
I like it. I like going in solo, taking the battlefield and be like, well, you don't have any units to put in there right now. Yeah, okay, you have units that can accelerate or just play straight into there, but like right now, I don't know if I mind. I just want to go up to 7. I just want to score 7 points now.
And now I have the recycle trigger from the Sigil of the Storm.
Beautiful.
It's a really nice all-round Dazzling Aurora. Remember the trigger. As a Sivir player, you do these from time to time. It's a Fizz.
Fizz is great. Going straight in there and bolstering that power. Incredible.
Yeah, I like the 9 might at that battlefield. Makes it really hard. You can't just go in with something like a Ferris Forerunner. Fizz, when it's played, does get you the ability to play a spell from your graveyard, from your trash, with energy cost 3 or less. You ignore the energy cost, but you do have to pay a power cost. Is it a Sabotage? You recycle it after you played it. We play the Sabotage. We're going to have to recycle another rune. Problem is, Sabotage, once again, doesn't hit non-units.
So we've only got 2 to choose from, but you could take the Sabotage.
Well, the Mobilize or the Catalyst.
Mobilize, sorry, I was thinking Mobilize, and I think the Mobilize is the nice one there, because again, you're limiting what your opponent can do and how they can react to your now 7 points to 3.
Yeah, and you have 9 at the battlefield. So is there anything that can get readied quickly is the question.
That's a question on everyone's minds. That's what we want to know. We want to know, can anything actually start to kind of hurt this play at this point? And I mean, like, Deadbloom Predators can be played into occupied enemy battlefields, so they're great, but again, they're really high cost, so we're not going to be able to get more than just that 8 power, and now going up to 9 on that battlefield. That number 9 is really imperative to stop those.
Didn't even draw anything off the top. No new Aurora for a Deadbloom Predator, no Deadbloom Predator itself. We're going to Sabotage. Going to have a look at the hand. It's double Ezreal Fizz in a stack deck, and only the stack deck can be removed.
They can have a peek at the rest, but can't touch it. The stack deck, you know, it's a great card. We've seen it very, very fortuitously helping our competitors this weekend already, but we do have natural card draw in hand with Ezreal anyway, so it doesn't feel that impactful.
No, it really doesn't. Elgato needs to influence this top battlefield. If Jencig is able to hold on to it, they will just win via hold. Now, the Carnivore Snapvine does allow you to choose an enemy unit at a battlefield and do the damage. So it's going to be 6 onto the Rasa, killing off the Rasa.
Lovely, a little trade.
We do have another Snapvine in hand.
Ooh.
I believe.
We can afford it.
Can we? I think that was 6.
Ooh.
Yep, pay the 5.
Ooh, lovely.
Recycle 2 bodies, so we'll get rid of that Fizz. And
Fizz is out of here too. They're fizzling out now.
you have buckets, and you are just shipping all the water over the side as quickly as you can, but it is working at the moment for Elgato. The second Snapvine coming down, killing off the Fizz, surviving itself because it is a deal damage. Both units deal damage each way, so
you know, I respect it. The comeback is clean, man. It's here. It's here to stay. We're giving it a go, and I think it's really respectful at this stage of the competition to not let anything down. You're like, I've decided to come in with Volibear, and I'm going to Volibear. And I've got to say, some of these classic cards that we've seen from set 1 as well really shine in this meta in Spirit Forged. It's really nice to see.
It really is. It really is.
But we don't have a lot of runes left as Jencig.
There's an easy Rasa play though. You go in with Akshan, you conquer, you seal for the Rasa. Definitely have more than 10 in your trash, right? 100%. And you could just try and hold the Sigil of the Storm. Issue is you are recycling a rune when you go in there. You do have your Dazzling. Could use Fizz to try and get something like the On the Hunt back, giving your units the ability to enter ready.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I think we don't really have a choice. I think you've got to keep the pressure on here. You've got to get the big units back. You've got to go for the Rasa. You've got to go for the last rites. Going into the battlefield for the Conquer.
Yeah.
Yep,
trigger.
We're happy. There it goes.
And
away with you.
Yeah, can't recycle a body. Has to be a Chaos. You just flip it over to show, yes, this is going to the bottom of my rune deck as soon as I decide what I want to use the energy for. We'll bring the Rasa back. Yep,
lovely. There's our gold token. Rasa going straight in there as well, just trying to make that kind of that stronghold position again.
I mean, you know that a couple of Snapvines had just come out.
Yep.
I can't. We had a Snapvine earlier as well, but was it rebuked or is there one in the trash?
I think it's in the trash. So I think we are out of Snapvines at this point. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain. And so the threat is minimal.
Yeah. I mean, you could. The problem is, for Elgato, everything costs so much. Because you could Magma Worm, which means your other units enter ready, and then you could play something like a Volibear or a Deadbloom Predator. Deadbloom Predator doesn't matter as much, but a Minotaur, get that extra might, and then go in ready. But Magma Worm is 8 in a Fury Rune, 8 in Fury Power, right? It's also pricey. Now, a fully stacked up Sigil of the Storm. We're going searching. We'll find a Rasa from it with the Dazzling Aurora. That's 6, 12, 18, 21 might, holding down the fort for Sivir at that top battlefield. Where are we going, Elgato?
Jencig stole Elgato's one of the best cards on their field and just went, anyway, I'm gonna use it now and be better.
Yep.
That's wild.
I would like to take this, and it will serve me well.
It's not even like you're just taking it away from them, like taking something that someone shouldn't have. You're like, oh, actually, I could use that. Can I borrow that, please? Thank you.
It's not even, can I borrow that, please? It's, I am borrowing that. I will take that. Good luck.
The rich get richer.
Yeah, that's, capitalism.
Right.
Minotaur Vecna coming out will mean that units can't move to base. I don't think Jencig had any intentions of moving units to base.
I think they are happy to be there and wanting to say, no, okay, you managed to push me out last time, but I'm staying this time.
I mean, it's got to be over, right? What are you trying to draw off the top here?
I'm not even sure.
Even something like a challenge, it's not enough.
There's the handshake! Jencig taking it away with the Battle Mistress versus the Bear, and guess who won?
The Battle Mistress.
Indeed.
I don't have to guess.
No,
I was there.
We were here.
We
but honestly,
a
fantastic showing. Taking from their opponent, using their own instruments against them was absolute genius work in play, and I'm so pleased that we got to watch all of that unravel. I'm glad we got to see a Volibear.
Yeah, so am I. I was hoping for more. I feel like the Aurora coming down as late as it did was really unfortunate. No early mobilizers, no early catalysts either. But really good sideboarding action with the Akshan coming in. We have to expect that was sideboarded because you don't really usually run Akshan as a main in the Sivir decks. Really nicely done by Jencig. They'll go to 3-1. We'll see our Volibear player go to 2-2, which isn't out.
It's not bad, it's not out.
You want 6 wins, really. 18 points, I believe, is the cutoff.
But also going for that best-of pricing, right?
True, yeah.
Like, a Volibear doing this well early in the tournament, and we saw they had some fantastic plays. Their deck is geared up. We know kind of what the expectation of Volibear is, but that doesn't stop its ferocity coming at you. And I think that's a wonderful thing. You can just kind of roll with it. And I think that best of pricing is still very much in the clause there. I think we definitely can still achieve it. So
in the clause. Amazing.
Thank you.
We're going to go to a short break with a wonderful bit of video. Go away.